Hello, everybody. Welcome back. JEB in Flow. I think this is the 41st episode that I've done, but we switched platforms a little while back, so I think it's like maybe the seventh one. So if you're kind of new to listening to it, streaming on the old Spotify and iTunes and that kind of thing, if you want to dig back through the Street Parking Members Facebook group, you can see some of the old ones. But anyways, this is the last JEB in Flow of 2019. And it's been one hell of a year. And so really all I want to do is kind of just like talk about, take a little inventory, take stock of what's happened this year and maybe put it into some context and hopefully encourage the people that are listening or watching this to do the same thing. And I think it's important around this time to kind of stop and take a beat, slow down a little bit, and appreciate where we were a year ago compared to where we are now. And hopefully it's been progress. Hopefully we are moving in a good direction. And if not, then this could be a really good catalyst to right the course, right the ship or whatever the expression is. So let me first, I think to really put this into context, explain sort of what happened prior to 2019. And I'm going to take it way back. In 2017, I was in a period, I went away for a month to this yoga teacher training, and it was very immersive, very intense. There was pretty much, if you were not practicing or practice teaching or learning, sitting in lectures, doing workshops about yoga, you were either sleeping or eating. That was it for 30 days straight. We did have actually every 7 days we got 1 day off. So during that time, it was really intense growth. A lot of things happened. A lot of things dawned on me, where I kind of shifted my priorities a bit and started to realize what was really important and maybe let go of some of the things that I thought were important or thought were supposed to be important, and realized that, like, hey, they don't have to be. I can do whatever I want. I can make this life whatever I want to make it. Anyways, at that time, while I was up there, during this intense period of high emotions and growth and that kind of thing, which really when you're at that level of kind of arousal, you are vulnerable. Things can have more meaning in those times. Anyways, I received a letter, and in the letter, there was this necklace, and there was no real reference to the necklace in the letter. I had no idea what it meant. And this was the necklace. It was just a key. And I was like, what is this key? Like, is this a key to some kind of door? And I asked around. No, this was not a key to like a door to the studio back at home or anything like that. It's just a necklace with a key on it. And so I forgot about it. And at the time I was running a gym, it was doing well, but I realized that there was a lot of things that were being focused on that I think were not necessarily what I felt should be focused on. And I wanted to kind of shift gears a little bit. So I came back, and over the course of the next year, that was in the fall of 2017. So we'll fast forward to 2018. If I'm being honest, 2018 was the hardest year of my life. It was so stressful. And a lot of it was all stuff, that I had manufactured or results of decisions that I had made. I wanted to be spending less time in the gym. And so I brought people on. I didn't train them properly. I probably didn't hire the right people. So they required a lot more training, or maybe there was, with certain people, philosophically, there just wasn't alignment. And any business owner out there probably knows, it's a mistake that a lot of us run into. It's hard to find good people. And sometimes you just want to find somebody that's gonna, they check the boxes, and then you get them in, and then things start maybe not working out so well, but you're like, oh man, but I really don't want to go back to 16-hour days. So I remember my birthday in 2018, and I spent 15 hours in the gym on my birthday. I had been running this gym for 6 years at the time. And, 15, 16-hour days are not uncommon when you're getting off the ground. And we got off the ground. And, there was periods where we were doing really, really well. And then we kind of hit a little bit of a bump in the road. And as the owner, you got to be responsible, step back in. And I just remember being on the floor of the gym during a little break in the day when no one else was there, and just being like, I cannot keep going like this. I'm just not into spending 15 hours a day inside of a box. I can't do it. And I had these ideas for what if there was some way that we could build community and create the sense of community that exists within a gym, within a small boutique fitness type facility, but you could do it online. And when I was thinking about that type of thing was right around the time when I found out about street parking, which was, a year or two before, back in 2017. And we had started kind of working with Miranda and Julian in 2018. And so I knew how cool it was and how much we loved coming up here and getting to know them, and the freedom that we had with developing the maintenance program and that kind of thing. And then at the same time, kind of feeling just stuck in this box. And it was just, I just kind of cracked that day. It was really, really unpleasant. And, there was a lot of other things in 2018, and I won't go into it, but suffice it to say, I experienced some deep depression. I experienced a lot of anxiety. I experienced a complete lack of desire to do anything. I just was felt, that feeling sometimes when you just want to give up, when you just don't know nothing's working. It doesn't feel like anything is going right. You try to impose your will on things and try all these systems and whatever strategies and formulas and it's just it's not working. It's not fun. And it was really rough. 2019, I made a decision with Carolina. We made a decision that we are going to get out of this business. So we made some arrangements with some nearby facilities, and we found a good home for our members, and we were able to liquidate some of the equipment. And as soon as we made the decision that we were going to step away from what we were doing and what I had been doing for the previous 7 years, every single day, all day long, soon as we made that decision, it was like in Wizard of Oz when she opens the door and all of a sudden everything's in color. It was just all of a sudden everything was in color, hypercolor. And all of a sudden all these doors started opening. And just to give you a quick recap of 2019, what most people would consider to be extremely stressful, well, here it is. So 2019, I closed a business. I quit a job that was separate from my business because I was working somewhere else at the same time. I turned down a ton of really, really promising, really kind of lucrative opportunities. I sold a house. We bought a house. We had a baby. We moved to Washington from California with said baby, less than 4 weeks old. Somehow I found time to study for and pass the CSCS exam. I read easily 50 books, and I'm more fit now than I was a year ago. And when people talk about some of the most stressful things that happen in your life, it's like having a kid, buying a house, moving. And we did all three of those things in a 60-day period. And honestly, it doesn't even compare to like how low I was in 2018. 2019 has been amazing. It's been incredible. It's been the best year that I can possibly remember. It's been, just such really, really incredible things have happened. And almost all of it, there's really all of it is connected to street parking. All of it is connected to joining this team and coming on board and being able to take on more stuff and being welcomed by the team and being able to show up for the other members of this team, and then through that be able to show up for this community. And honestly, the way that this community has received my wife and I and our baby has just been like, it's been unbelievable. And I choose the word unbelievable because I can only believe it because it happened to me. But if I was to try to somehow fit that sensation, that feeling into words and be able to present that to someone else, they'd be like, nah, that's not possible. But it is, because these people are awesome. And what we've got here is awesome. And it's really, really special. And so I want to shout out absolutely everybody, but in the interest of time, I would just say a couple of things, obviously everything starts from the top in any kind of organization. Everything, at the operational level and the management level, it all trickles down from whatever the culture is, whatever the attitude is that comes from the top. And that is Miranda and Julian. And, getting to know them over the last year and seeing how they are as people, not just business owners, is really, really cool. Julian is like the perfect friend, basically, there's a long, almost pretty much until the last couple of years. This is not something that guys do with one another, where Julian will call me just to check in and see how I'm doing. That's not something dudes do. And it's a really, really cool thing because it's not fake. And I know that he genuinely does care. And, the other day I was in here, Callie had not slept the night before. We had been up all night. And I came in, I sat down at a desk and I started working, and Julian was in the a separate office, came out kind of behind me, smacked me on the shoulder, was like, "What's going on, man?" And I turned and I was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he looked at me, he's like, "You tired?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am tired." And, without a beat, he was like, "Let's go get a cup of coffee." And so we left the office, we got a cup of coffee, and we just chatted a little bit, kind of talked about what was going on in our lives, and it was really cool. And that's like, that's an amazing thing that would happen between two friends, but like for that to also happen with somebody that is your boss, which is somebody that you work with and work for, to take that type of time and care and honestly be perceptive enough, sensitive enough to just notice. And I think that what makes street parking so special and what makes people get street parking tattooed on their body. And if you're not aware of this, there are a lot of people out there with key tattoos and like the SP logo tattoo on their body. It's there forever. And it's really crazy, but it's not crazy because if you understand it and you're in it, it totally makes sense. But the way that we've been able to do that is because we make a point to connect. We make a point to connect to people, and it's a goal to make sure that people feel seen. And in that moment, I felt seen, I felt noticed, I felt appreciated, and it's a really good feeling. And we wouldn't be able to transmit that to the members if we didn't get that from the people we work with. Cool story. I met Miranda in 2014 at a CrossFit certification. And I was so pumped to go do this level 2 at NorCal CrossFit because I was a big fan of the whole NorCal team. And I didn't know who was going to be there, but I just wanted to go to NorCal CrossFit. So I rolled up and I'm like at the little sign-in table or whatever. And I am talking with Austin, one of the guys that was helping put on the seminar. And he was like, "Oh, Jeb Stone, that's a cool name." And then Miranda comes up from the side and she looks at me and she's like, "How do I know you?" And I was like, "I don't know. We'd never met before, but I feel like the alignment that we have in terms of coaching, in terms of how we feel about people and connecting to people is so aligned that it was like, we already knew each other." So when 5-6 years later, all of this happened with coming on to street parking, it was just like, it made sense. And the other day, when we moved, I found that necklace with the key on it. And I was looking at it, and I was holding it in my hand, and it made sense. All of a sudden, I understood what that key was. It was like always going to be this. Everything was always going to take me here. All I had to do was stay on that path, right? And I had to go through a terrible 2018. And I had to hit those walls, and I had to struggle, and I had to have feelings of wanting to give up. And I had to keep going. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. I know the impact that I want to have on people. And even when there's a period of weeks or months or even a year when I feel like nobody else sees it, I had to keep going. And thank God that I did, because it brought me here. And I'm super, super grateful for that. I'm super grateful for 2019. And you know what? I'm super grateful for 2018. I'm super grateful for 2017. I'm super grateful for everything, because all of those experiences, all of those memories, all of the decisions that I've made, good and bad, have all brought me here to this point right now. And it's a good place to be. I'm really happy. So maybe your experience is a little different. Maybe your 2019 is my 2018. Maybe this has been a horrible year. I don't know. But what I can say is that if you take a little time to look inside, to know or to try to ask and get to know who you are and what it is that you want, and maybe start to ask and get a feel for what direction maybe you want to steer your ship in, and you are patient and you keep going, it will happen. It will happen. I don't know what's going to happen in 2020. Maybe everything's going to fall apart. I don't know. I don't care, because I know that whatever happens, it's taking me in the right direction. It's all going to lead to something that is amazing. It's all going to lead to something that is glorious. And then you know what? That thing is probably going to take a little lull, and there's going to be peaks and there's going to be valleys. So enjoy the highs. Try to enjoy the lows and at least appreciate the lows. Know that those lows are going to take you back up the mountain at some point, and that view is going to be even sweeter because you knew where it was that you were not too long ago. Patience is something that I think is really, really important, and something that most of us are really have kind of in short supply. And I want to just mention something about patience as well, because this is the end of the year and we're going into the new year, and being part of a fitness organization, we all know that there's a lot of people that sign up for fitness around the new year. And we are seeing it right now. We are seeing a lot of new members, and we're super excited. We welcome these new members. We're so happy to have them. We're so happy for our community to be able to take them in and show them the way and be patient with them. And I know that for some of the members that have been around for a long time, to see the same questions being asked on Facebook, or the same maybe even concerns about why we don't care how people decide to use RX, because we just don't. It's not our jam. Check whatever box you want. It's not about that. Let's move on. But let's be nice about it. So for all the OG members out there, be excited. Be excited. Remember when you first started and how excited you were. Remember the connections that you felt to some of the other members that were nice to you and that welcomed you, and the team that saw you, noticed you, and gave you shout outs. Do that for these new members. Show them how awesome it is to be a part of this community. And the reason why this community is so awesome is because you are in it. So show them how awesome you are. 2020, it's going to be good. It's going to be a great year. Take a little time and reflect on 2019. Appreciate the good, the bad, the indifferent. Try to have a feeling. Thank you guys for making this year amazing. Thank you guys for tuning in to 41 episodes. I'm going to leave it at that. Have a really great week. Have a really great new year. I love you. I'll see you soon.